Fed says more inflation, which equals stagflation. We'll take a look at inflation and stagflation along with our sector updates, so stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. The Fed says they're going to increase inflation, and this is going to most likely result in stagflation, or in other words, a go-nowhere economy. Keep in mind, the Fed is trying to do everything they can to normalize the economy after the virus hit. Without the Fed trying to stabilize the situation, we'd probably be in a much worse situation. Here's an article that says Fed adopts new strategy to allow higher inflation. Here's a graphic that shows what is stagflation. We get high inflation, we have very low interest rates. They're trying to pump as much money into the economy, so we're going to increase the inflation. They do not want deflation. We have a low GDP. It was down a minus 32%. So there's low domestic gross product output. The output of our economy is very low. We have high rate of unemployment. Unemployment actually is continuing to increase. And so what can some of these things cause? It can cause a recession. It can make it very difficult for many people. Now, interest rates would increase. Assets, metals, precious metals could possibly increase under inflationary times. Now, for interest rates that are low, that's going to make it tough on seniors and folks who don't want to invest in the stock market. It's going to be difficult for them to make money on interest. And then the big problem is businesses really can't get going. There's still talk about more layoffs, especially in the airlines industry. So right now, unemployment is very high. We're losing about 1 million people a week in employment. Let's take a look at some of our important sectors here. We're looking at gold here. It's come off the top, went as high as 2,075 or just a little above that. The seasonality period that we're entering for gold right now is the weakest in September and October. However, we'll see if talk of inflation does start to spike the price of gold. So we're going to also keep our eye on the GDX gold miner stocks. This is the gold miner index right now. Looks similar to gold. Right now it's flat. Let's look at the TLT bond fund. Now this has been moving down. It's trending down. Lower highs and lower lows. Bonds move down. Interest rates move higher. Now the Fed wants to keep interest rates low. The market may disagree with that. The market itself may sell off bonds, causing interest rates to go higher. That would have a negative effect on home sales. And of course, a positive effect for savers who have cash in the bank. Junk bonds are still at the highs here. When junk bonds start to sell off, that's usually bad news for the stock market. Okay, we're looking at Apple Computer here. Apple reached a high of 515 now. Over the last 3 or 4 days, it's starting to develop lower highs. We start to get a break below 494 on Apple. Let's call it actually, say 491. Below 491, that would be negative for Apple and the NASDAQ 100, QQQ. XLF financial ETF with low interest rates. That's not good for the financials, but let's see if the interest rates start to increase. That could be better news for the financials. Let's look at the DIA here, ETF for the Dow Jones Industrials. We did get a spike here in August on the Dow, so that looks very positive. It's up at the highs. We've got support down at 277. If we do get any kind of sell-off, the first level support those right around 285. Here's an interesting chart to look at. This is the Awesome 8 in the black here at the very top. That's the top 5 stocks that are leading the market higher. You can see how this is really charged higher to the upside. We've got the NASDAQ here, S&P 500. When you start looking at the equal weighted S&P 500, we don't see the same results as we get with the S&P 500, which is weighted toward the tech stocks. If you look at the value line geometric index, which is a measure of, or the largest grouping of stocks, you can see it's not anywhere close to what's going on with the Awesome 8, which is like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Facebook. We'll be talking more about inflation and stagflation. By the way, I've been in Florida here, and I'm going to release some 3 or 4 videos that I completed while I was in Florida. So stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching. Have an excellent weekend.